What we are going to do is be ambitious in our negotiations to negotiate the best deal for the British people, and that will include the maximum possible access to the European market for firms to trade with and operate within the European market.
Prime Minister Theresa May there, UK Prime Minister, of course, addressing Parliament a little earlier today. May giving the battered pound some needed relief after she agreed that lawmakers should be allowed a say on her plan for taking Britain out of the European Union. For more on May's latest remark, let's bring in our Brexit editor, Simon Kennedy. So overnight we were led to believe that Parliament would get a vote, and then she sort of stepped back from it saying, yes, we'll debate it, but she didn't categorically say whether parliamentarians would have a vote.
Ideally, Theresa May will avoid a vote, but there's very little she can do to actually do that. There's a good evidence that she will maybe allow a vote and not feel particularly bound by it in the end.
Have a little sip of water before I get you that next question.
I'm very emotional about Parliament.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because she has to give Parliament something, the House of Commons something, because the majority is so slim. And in fact, in the House of Lords, there isn't one, is there?
And she's hoped not to have given something. This is a bit of a U-turn in the last 24 hours. She read the Sunday newspapers. People like Nick Clegg, former Deputy Prime Minister, Ed Miliband, former Labour leader, other people within her party were starting to say, well, hold on, you spent a week at the Conservative Party conference laying out various red lines, or your party's laid out various red lines for these negotiations. You're not going to give us a say? And they had hoped, the leadership had hoped that they'd be able to resist that, and obviously in the last 24 hours they've decided to give a sop to Parliament today. Keir Starmer, the new spokesman for Brexit in the opposition Labour Party, pointing out today that the British people voted for Brexit. He's not seeking to block that, but what they didn't vote for is the terms, the mandate. They didn't give her a mandate to negotiate her way out, and we're probably going to see a lot of parliamentary language and the like, but it's unlikely to actually stop Brexit.
Yeah, Simon, I have to quote David Bloom from HSBC, who said in a note last week that Sterling is now the de facto opposition, the de facto official opposition to the government's policies, because it's, not quite clear that there is a working opposition. So what will Parliament decide to do if Parliament does indeed get a vote on anything substantial?
Well, it's less what it will do with the vote, it's more how binding that vote would be. One thing that's very clear is Theresa May is not going to give Parliament any say in whether Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty should or should not be triggered. That's the mechanism by which we start the talks, and at the moment Theresa May holding fast to her feeling that she has the right to start those talks and nobody else, although tomorrow we start to see a legal challenge to that start to run through the British courts.
Yeah, what is the hope for that legal challenge having any impact, Simon?
It can throw sand in the wheels. It's basically what it can do is if a judge refuses to side with May, then it's an issue that goes to the House of Commons, House of Lords, and this could make a more protracted debate even more protracted. And so the people are going to be looking very closely at that, although Nomura pointing out this afternoon in a report to clients that people shouldn't put too much stock in it. There shouldn't be necessarily a surge in the pound if the court does side with the people trying to get May to give Parliament more of a say. It's very much an issue, though, that it could throw sand in the wheels. And as we saw today, sand in the wheels can send the pound soaring.
Yeah.